Hello. Yeah.
When it was announced that Facebook bought the company Oculus, it was kind of a big deal. One, because it was a lot of money, sort of legitimizing VR in a way, but it also scared a lot of people because a lot of people have problems with Facebook. But one of the things that they were planning on doing was making virtual reality a very social tool, and I got a chance to try it at E3 and loved it. You just got a chance to try it today.
Sure did.
Describe to me just the base scenario, what was happening.
Man, okay, so basically I was standing in a room which had soundproofing in it. It was a square room, and I was standing right in the middle, and they popped the Oculus onto my head, and it's got like speakers right, it's got headphones right here, and then I can't see anything at this stage, and they asked me to put my hands out, and they put something onto my hands. I have no idea what these things are, but they fit nice. And then I basically like beam up, and I'm in this world. I'm standing. I'm from what I can see, I must be a pair of hands and a face because there's somebody across from me. And then they start talking to me. Yeah. And then I realize that they're in the room behind, and we're actually playing together.
So the basis for this whole thing is that you are in a virtual space with somebody, but in actuality, you guys are in separate locations, right? So, and essentially what you're accomplishing is you have created a social scenario that doesn't exist with any other technology.
Yes.
I don't think it's possible any other way to really interact like you were in 3D space. Like, what were some of the things you guys were doing? Because I know my favorite was like lighting fireworks and throwing them and catching them and stuff like that.
Yeah, so basically with these things in my hands, I don't even know what they are, but they work, which feels really strange because I'm basically like I'm squeezing my hands and like my hands are turning into fists.
They're intuitive.
Yeah, they're so, and I'm like pointing and my hand is pointing and I'm doing like thumbs up, and like what I'm doing basically is like picking up objects. So picking up cuboids, you know, picking up rectangles, things, piling them up, like playing anti-Jenga basically. And then it's like, oh, we can play with all these other things. There's a ball, and like I'll throw the ball, and then he catches it, and then he throws it back, and I'm like, okay, this doesn't feel like I'm playing a video game anymore. This feels like I'm actually, well, it feels like I'm playing a game.
You're not thinking about it, right? You just react the way you would in normal life.
Yeah, Chris, who's behind the camera now, we had a demo afterwards, and at one stage, just unprompted, I picked up a robot and chucked it at him, and he went, whoa, and he caught it. It was like, super intuitive. And yeah, it basically went through a bunch of these sort of technical presentations showing off various different things you can do, from picking up objects to shooting things to, my favorite was there was a slingshot.
Yeah, that thing is really good.
And it just works.
Yeah.
You just pick the and you go boom, and you go boom. And one of the funniest things that happened was at a certain stage he brings out a ray gun, which basically either makes you small or makes the other person small. And then I was this tiny, Chris shoots me with the ray gun, I'm this tiny version of me, right? And he's like being a jerk and like throwing things at me and shooting me and stuff, and I can't move because I'm like tiny. But then I see the slingshot, and I pick up the slingshot, right? And I can still use it, but now I'm like doing this.
Because it's like 10 times as large.
Yeah, but I'm like, so I'm sure there's all this footage of me looking like an absolute numpty playing this thing. It was unbelievable. It was one of those things where like,
I could have described it to you, and you probably wouldn't have any idea how it felt. Because it is a feeling. It is not just something that you learn and then understand. You have to experience it.
Totally. And there's the intuitive, like when I was talking to the gentleman on the other side, I was talking to Chris, like there's a microphone on the headset, so like it just works. And when they talk, it's like a pulse.
It's like a little like static,
it's like a floating
waveform.
Exactly. It's like a floating head with like a wireframe, but it moves, and everything about it, like head gestures to like blah, 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 like just felt like I was talking to a human person.
And I think a lot of people expect for that to feel that way. It has to look exactly like them. It has to be this like perfect representation. But we are instinctively trained to see faces in things that don't exist, right?
Totally.
So therefore, when we have a thing that's rendered that just sort of shares the qualities of a face, it's really easy to just sort of buy into it and go along with it.
And then there's this world that's like so, it all just works. It's basically a physics demo, but there's all these different things you can do. Like for instance, there was these balls in the corner that you smash and they turn it into like underwater land or like space, and then suddenly gravity works. So right at the end of the presentation, he was like, oh, after E3, we actually found this cool thing we can do. And he basically starts spawning Roman candles, and then he spawns dynamite. And what he's going to do is smash the space ball right as they go off, and it's going to be a glorious firework display in space. But I'm just standing there while he's doing it, and I'm just like picking shit up and throwing, and I throw this thing, this like cube, and it hits this massive like gnome, who then falls and hits the space ball before he's finished, and everything just goes flying into the air. Whoops.
All your work has just disappeared.
And everything just goes flying into the air and then starts exploding, and then the space ball, like, it dissipates after a while and you go back into normal and it all like falls down, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like, that was just a random thing that it wasn't supposed to happen, and it was amazing.
So like when I try to tell people what it's like to really experience VR, it's very convincing.
Yeah.
It's never about how it feels in the moment of VR because you're not thinking about it so much. But for me, whenever I take the headset off, it's coming back to reality. And the fact that it shocks my system, that I realize I really bought into that.
Yeah, totally.
I actually believe what was happening to me. And I only know it when I just wrench myself out of it so fast.
Nothing about this felt like I was playing a video game. Nothing about
or trying to feel convinced, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. There was no me trying to buy into it.
Right.
It fucking worked.
Yeah.
And that was like super exciting. You can tell, it feels like one of those moments, like, you know when you pick up the Wiimote for the first time and you're like, well, it's like that, like times 100.
I had a lot of fun watching you, and I know we've shown some of you so far what Danny was doing, but here's a look at just the joy that you had for about 20 minutes straight.
Hello. Yeah. Right. Oh, I got his leg. Shit. Oh. Wow. They're gonna explode. You madman. No, you have it. Jesus. Where'd you go? Is that a picture of Socrates? Oh yeah. All right. Awesome. Sorry, little dude. My bad. Oh yeah, the bag. Hello. Oh, that's great. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna keep my hands to myself, okay? Woo! I could do this thing forever. This is amazing. There's something that's just so satisfying in real life about doing this that is totally exists here as well. Awesome. Whew.
Pretty awesome, right?
That's amazing.
Welcome back.
That was absolutely amazing. Whoa. I think I need a minute.